So why do I use JPEG for optimization of this type of image? This is a continuous tone image. It's a pixel-based image, and these images are best treated as JPEG files. JPEG has the best compression method for these types of files. We could have saved it as a PNG, but the file size would have been a little bit larger. You can experiment with that. Try to take one file, save it into multiple different formats. And sometimes you'll get different results. Sometimes the PNG will be smaller than the JPEG. Sometimes it'll be larger than the JPEG. It depends on a lot of different factors. The thing about this particular image is that a lot of the background is blurred. So most of this background is dark and blurred, singular in color, pretty much monotone. It's only this foreground element that has a lot of details and richness. So when any kind of image algorithm looks at an image, it's going row by row, line by line, and it's checking all the pixels, and it's looking for patterns. And that's how fundamentally most image optimization algorithms work. And depending on which file format you use, it's going to produce different results. It also depends on the image itself. But let's take a look. So there we save this file as a JPEG. If we save as a PNG, we have some other options. So I'll go to export again, save for web legacy. Now you can see all the JPEG options had to do with whether it's low, medium, high, or maximum quality. Remember, this is quality slider. The quality range here will change based on what you set here. These are just like presets. You can get really, really fine detailed with these if you want. But if I go to this preset, you notice that there's two options for PNG. PNG 24. And notice that the PNG is much bigger than the JPEG file. It's 519K. And then we have PNG 8. Now PNG 8 will produce a color table like this. And this is best suited for flat color graphics. And this is very similar to the Gif file format. So you can see here it's down to 248 pixels. But you notice that in the quality of the image looks pretty good, but it's producing this color table. So what it's just done there is it's sampled all the colors, all the common colors in the image, and it's made a color table of 256 colors. And those 256 colors represent all the colors within that image. And it will just eliminate any other colors and use just these colors to make this particular image, making the file size smaller. But again, the PNG 8 file format is good for like flat graphics. It's intended to be like a replacement for GIF. And then PNG 24, one additional feature to PNG 24, and we'll look at this in a bit, is that it supports full alpha transparency. And that's better than any kind of alpha transparency that the GIF file format option offers. So we would need to do something or see another thing in order to take full advantage of that. So we'll do that in a bit. But then we'll also look here in this presets for the GIF file formats. So remember the PNG 8 is, right now it's produced 128. That's from this setting that I just chose. But in the GIF settings, I can go down further. I can go down to 32 colors and see what happens here. Since the colors are being removed, it's showing these large bands of colors. And this is why GIF files are not really good for photographs. They're more good for what's called flat graphics or anything that you get out of Adobe Illustrator. If we went up to 64, you can see we still have some banding of colors. The file size is not that much better than the PNG 8. GIF has additional options too. So there's palettes. So there's different palettes to choose from. There's a diffusion method. There's transparency. It's not true transparency, but it's not alpha-based transparency, but it does offer you transparency options. There's the number of colors, the dithering method. So there's a bunch of different factors that are involved here, much like the quality sliders that we saw in JPEG, to make the file sizes smaller. Now, GIF has another option that's not available here that you don't see, is that we can convert files into animated GIFs. And you can set the looping, you can set the playback here. So all those options are not on because this is only a single frame image. But as soon as we open up a video file, we can make that into an animated GIF. And we'll do that in a bit. So these are the major file formats. The other one that we saw in the dropdown is a WBMP. And you can see here, we don't want to use that option. And we'll get into some of the more cooler features of compression here that we talked about with PNG, transparency, and we'll talk about the GIF animated GIF file formats as well.